Hi there, Serial Trader here. I got a request to look at Royal Dutch Shell. So let's start off here with the monthly chart of RDSA, and this is the US dollar denominated uh, ticker. And from the May 2008 high on this monthly chart, looks like we got 5 down for A, and then we had this very time consuming B wave, A, B, C for B, perhaps a running flat. And then another 5 waves down for wave C into our most recent low there on in October. And okay, so on this US dollar denominated chart, you have to basically say that this is a truncated C wave, a truncated wave 5 of C, whereas we didn't make a new low below that March low. And normally truncations are rare, so you don't want to say that there's a truncation unless you have a good reason to. But in this case, I think it might be a bit of a currency thing too. So okay, we got a truncation here on the US dollar denominated chart, but if we go over just quickly to the euro denominated one, and this is RDSA, the European listed one. So basically the same idea. We got a peak there. Now, because it's in a different currency, it peaked at a different time and it made a bottom at a different time. But you basically have the same pattern or chart in play where you got. So in this case, the euro denominated chart peaked in July of 2007. So a little different than the US dollar one. But still, you got an A down, you got an A, B, C up for B, and then a 5 waves down for C. So it kind of looks like a large flat pattern. A, B, C, and you want to see that real aggressive C wave in a flat pattern. This certainly looks like a nice aggressive C wave. Now I'll just focus on the C wave here for this euro denominated one. And I mean, you can easily make the case that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 down in C. And you'll notice here we did actually make a new low in October, whereas on the US dollar denominated chart, you would have to call it a truncation. So this is a bit of a currency thing. I think we got a nice proper 5 waves down completed for wave C, and the fact that it didn't truncate on the euro denominated one makes me feel better about the US dollar one being truncated, saying that okay, the pattern's complete. It was just kind of a currency complexity there, and you can be confident that you probably have a solid bottom in. So that's why I like to look back and forth if something's listed in different currencies, just see if there's any little clues on the different denominated charts. So in this case, I think there is. Here, the truncation, it's not ideal, and yet there is no truncation when you look at it in euros, so that's good enough for me. So being that that suggests that a major multi-year bottom is in, which certainly is in line with my assessment of oil and other energy-related stocks and ETFs, etc. So this is the monthly chart. Now we're back on the US dollar denominated one. Well, let's just go look at the daily chart, because it's only recently that we've had this big move off the bottom, right? So on the daily chart, and actually maybe we can go to a 4-hour. Yeah, that's fine. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart looks like we have the initial impulse wave off the bottom, possibly still in play, although I'm sure it's getting a little stretched, and we're going to have a correction reasonably soon. But let's just work with this. So we got a 1, 2, maybe that's the 3. We have a nice extended 3, 4, and we're working the wave 5, okay? So certainly no reason to believe it's done this impulse wave up yet. Hasn't really broken trend just yet. But once we do complete this initial 5-wave move off the bottom, however high we go, however long it takes, we'll be looking for some sort of proportional correction to the downside. And that should set up a nice entry opportunity if you're not already involved with this, right? Right now, if you bought here, I mean, you're just chasing what looks like a potentially mature impulse wave. So you'd be inviting the thing to correct against you if you did that, in my opinion. And we do have lots of unfilled gaps. Now, we won't necessarily fill all these gaps because some of these gaps go almost all the way back down to the bottom of the range, but there are some significant gaps open, and I'm sure at least probably these first couple up here might get filled, maybe even this one here. So I'd wait for this to stop going up, finish the impulse wave up, begin its correction, look to close at least some of these gaps, wait for some sort of clean looking 3-wave decline. You start putting up your Fibonacci retracement tools. You'd start looking at that, right? Just put up the common ones. And you'd basically just be waiting for this thing to come back in and give you an entry opportunity. So right now, not much you can do with it. If you're already in it, that's great. Looks like a good hold if you got in from lower levels. But for initiating a new position, I'd wait for a nice corrective pullback. Make sure it looks nice and corrective. Doesn't just start tanking all the way down. Make sure it looks non-threatening. The initial A wave could be nice and sharp if it's a zigzag, and then we get a B, and then a less severe C into a fib retracement into a gap fill. That'd be what I'm looking for here on the daily chart. All right. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Royal Dutch Shell. Likely a good multi-year opportunity once you get a short-term pullback for a decent entry. All right, Serial Trader signing off.